going to go and do another activity, the last one you'll be happy to know, and it's this one here, task 13. Write a program which starts with the following list of animals, and this is an array. Your program must display all the animals that begin with the letter S and count them and show how many there are. Easy. So, where are we? We have to go do our animals. Right, so first of all we need our array. There's the array. I call the array animals, and I put each animal in double inverted commas in square brackets with an equal sign there, showing that that is our array of animals. So you can see it better there. Right, moving on. So we've got that as our first part of our program. Next we need to use a loop to go through each box of the array, or each index. I always use boxes because I always imagine they're in boxes, but index of the array called animals. So I'm going to use a for loop counter. I'll call it X. You can call it anything you want. It's a variable which will change. And I said range length of animals. Len returns how many items there are in the array box. Now I didn't have to say 0, comma. You don't have to. You can just put in your upper value over there, and it's going to go from 0 to the length minus 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to go from, X will go from 0 to 7. We knew that from the last experience that we had, that awful experience in the previous activity. So go back to it, you'll see. Anyway, so for each item or index of our array, we're going to go and check the first letter of the animal and see if it's an S. Luckily they're all small letters. So what I'm going to do to make it easy for myself and for you, I'm going to get a variable, call it array item. You can call it anything else. Maybe I'll call it animal name. Yeah, why not? So, animal name. Animal name. So I'm going to get the animal name from the array. The array is called animals, index number X. So it starts at X, which will be 0. Because as I explained, we don't have to put that 0 there, but it is there anyway. So animal name is a string. The first box of the animals array, shown by box number X, which will be 0 to start off with, it's got nothing to do with the count, is that one. So if animal name, and now I've got a square bracket next to my string, my animal name. Horse is going to have its own array. I mean its own, what's the name? I'll show you. Let's go and insert a table here. It's horse and its strings are basically looking very similar to arrays. And that's the confusing part. H-O-R-S-E. Right, so here we have H-O-R-S-E. Insert as above. So that's box number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this, as you can see, is the word horse. Let's just make it a little bit clearer for you so you can actually see that it's a word horse. So can you see the word horse is in its own little array of its own? And what is the first box number? It's a 0. So horse, each of the characters of horse are in little boxes of their own with numbers associated with them. Character number 0 is H, character number 1 is O, character number 2 is R, and character number 3 is S, and character number 4 is E. So we've got to check the first character to see if it's an S. So let's go and do that in our code. If animal name character number 0 equals a small little s, and take note of the two little equal signs and the colon, and these two things are being done if the animal first character of the animal name, in this case it's going to be horse, animal name, remember we got it from the array box number 0 to start off with, so this is number 0, character number 0 of this one. If it's an S, then we're going to count our animals beginning with S. Why do I have to count? Because it said so. We want to count how many animals there are that start with S. And we, in order to count or total anything, we have to set our counter to 0 beforehand. Same as if we're going to total things or sum things up, we set it to 0. That totaling variable, sum or total, we set to 0. Counting's the same thing. So if we're going to add 1 to a variable each time, we're actually counting. Set the counter to 0, add 1 to it, and we also have to print the animal name out, because that is in this instruction. It said to count them and show how many there are, display all the animals, count them, and then display how many there are. So count them, print animal. We do that for every single box. All of that is happening inside the for loop there, which is going to go through each box of the array called animals. So at the end of all of that happening, right over here, the process is finished doing it, and then outside of the for loop we display count. So many animals start with the letter S. So we're joining that to this string over there in a nice message separated by a comma. And remember, the displaying the animal name happened when we found an animal name starting with the letter S. And that's that, folks. Have a good rest and see you later.